I was just watching the head-to-head programme on Al Jazeera with author Irshad Manji talking to Mehdi Hassan at the Oxford Union. Manji clearly believes that Islam is in need of reform. Muslims are the trouble with Islam today, says Manji. She thinks tribal culture has colonized the faith. All of God's creatures, Muslims especially, are called upon to keep thinking. That's what she says. Talking to a Muslim in the front row of the audience at the Oxford Union. Can't remember his name. Anyway, she said, quote, "It's not about expertise. It's about remembering, sir, that you are not God, and I am not God, and therefore none of us can claim to have the, quote, right interpretation." Mehdi Hassan gives the Canadian author the chance to define ijtihad. Maybe that's a word you're unfamiliar with. Manji defines it thusly. Quote, "Ijtihad is Islam's own tradition of independent thinking, of critical reasoning, of debate, dissent, and reinterpretation." And then she adds, "And yes, I have heard 1,000 times that only certain people are allowed to exercise ijtihad, but even that is up for debate." End quote. She's obviously a confident, educated woman, Irshad Manji. She's forthright with her points. She comes across as an honest person who knows what she stands for. Yeah. The guy interviewing her comes off as defensive and at times a bit hostile. But he does ask some decent, challenging questions. If you're interested in reading Irshad Manji's books, they're called The Trouble with Islam Today and Allah, Liberty and Love. She's a practicing Muslim. She also happens to be gay. She was thrown out of a madrasa at age 14 for asking too many questions. She was once chased through the house with a knife by her own father. She has been labelled as a controversial figure. She believes the Quran to be flawed and contradictory. Perhaps some might find it surprising that a practicing Muslim would hold such a view regarding the faith's holy book. Towards the end of this head-to-head programme, they open it up for some questions from the audience. It was interesting listening to Irshad's views. I can see why some people would take offence to this woman and the things she says. Playing God with others is the central sin within Islam, as Irshad Manji sees it. She's on the record as saying, moderate Muslims today are not very moderate and resemble all the traits of orthodoxy, including dogma and fear. She's a reformist because she recognizes that the Quran contains 3 times as many verses calling on Muslims to engage in critical thinking, rather than blind submission. Her words, not mine. She thinks the clerical class has far too much power, and Islam was always meant as a faith that gives the believer direct access to God or a personal relationship with God. If you're a Muslim watching this video, I ask, would you agree with Manji when she says, quote, "Devoting yourself to one God obliges you as a Muslim to defend human liberty"? If you do agree with this, please explain why. If you don't agree, again, please explain why. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. Manji's first book, The Trouble with Islam Today, was banned in Malaysia when it came out. Then, just last year, her new book, Allah, Liberty and Love, was banned in the same country. The book was condemned for being blasphemous to Islam and Prophet Muhammad. Yeah, banning books, always a surefire way to stop ideas from getting out there. Well done to the Malaysian government for treating your own citizens like children and showing how insecure you actually are. Give yourselves a pat on the back there. Anyway, see you next time, folks. Peace.